Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, our host has requested a specific katha for tonight. It is the final chapter of the Uddhava Gita. The Uddhava Gita appears in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Uddhava Gita is one of the final pastimes that Krishna performs prior to his leaving this world. After the battle of Kurukshetra, the demigods headed by Lord Brahma assembled in Dwaraka. And Lord Brahma situated himself in the sky and then said to Krishna that you appeared on our behalf when Mother Earth was distraught, when Mother Earth felt that she was overburdened by the unnecessary military industrial complex that was arranged by Kamsa. And all the demigods, Mother Earth, all the demigods went to the shore of the ocean of milk, and they offered prayers to Lord Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Specifically, they chanted the Purusha Sukta prayers, which are the standard prayers for worshiping the Lord. So, the Lord spoke to Lord Brahma within his heart and informed him that yes, he was well aware of all that was going on earth, and he was indeed going to take care of the burden of Mother Earth, and he would come in his original form as Sri Krishna, not an expansion or an incarnation, but the original Supreme Lord himself would come. And so Krishna came and stayed on earth for 125 years. So Brahma said, my Lord, you have killed all the demons, which is why we requested you to come. So we now say to you, you can return to your abode because you have executed everything we wanted. And Krishna indicated that yes, he accepted. And Krishna's great servant Uddhava could understand that soon Krishna would depart. Now, before Krishna could depart, first there had to be the annihilation of his dynasty, which is called the Maushala Leela, because Krishna was thinking that if I return and I leave my family, they're so powerful, my sons and grandsons are so powerful, without me to check them, they will become another disturbance for the earth, because they will become too proud, too puffed up. No one will be there to keep them in check. So Krishna was thinking, before I return, they have to go. Before that, so at this time, Uddhava approaches Krishna, and Uddhava says to Krishna, my Lord, I know that soon you are going to depart. take me with you. I cannot bear not being with you. I cannot stand you going and leaving me behind. Please take me with you. And Krishna said, no, I have service for you, because I want to entrust with you this science of love of God. So you stay for some time, but not very long, because Krishna said, as soon as I leave, the age of Kali will commence. And Krishna told Uddhava, age of Kali? No, you don't stick around for that. You also depart. So Uddhava said to Krishna that I want you to instruct me so that I am ready to live in your separation. So the Uddhava Gita is Uddhava's questions to Krishna, very similar to Arjuna's questions to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Very similar. Many of the sections mirror chapters in the Bhagavad Gita, but this Uddhava Gita is even more elaborate since it is Srimad Bhagavatam. More details are given. So, tonight's chapter is the final chapter of the Uddhava Gita. It begins with Uddhava asking questions of Krishna, and so throughout, Krishna is answering all of Uddhava's questions. So now we get to the final chapter. If you're ready to proceed, please chant the Maha Mantra for me one time, everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. One more time, please. And one more, if I so can beg from you. So the way Kamlesh likes me to do this program, he always says, I want to hear the chapter as Maharaj Parikshit heard it. So I will only comment as necessary. Basically, I'm just going to narrate the chapter. Let us proceed. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 29, entitled Bhakti Yoga. And those of you who have studied Bhagavad Gita, you know there's also the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. And you also know the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga, because 3 times Krishna says to Arjuna, you want to see me? Bhakti Yoga. You want to come to me? Bhakti Yoga. You want to understand me? Bhakti Yoga. And in this chapter, I'll let Krishna speak for himself. Sri Uddhava said, my dear Lord Achyuta, everybody say, Achyuta means he never falls. He's infallible, no mistakes on behalf of Krishna. He's always transcendental. I fear that the method of yoga described by you is very difficult for one who cannot control the mind. Therefore, please explain it to me in simple terms, how someone can more easily execute it. He's referring to the previous chapter, which was entitled Jnana Yoga. And in Bhagavad Gita, there's a chapter called Jnana Yoga. As I said, Uddhava Gita and Bhagavad Gita, they are like mirrors. O lotus-eyed Lord, generally those yogis who try to steady the mind experience frustration because of their inability to perfect the state of trance. Thus they weary in their attempt to bring the mind under control. Yes, controlling the mind is the bottom link, the bottom basis of any yoga. Whatever yoga you're doing, the fundamental principle, controlling the mind. Therefore, O lotus-eyed Lord, swan-like men, they are known as Paramahamsas, you've all heard that term. Swan-like men happily take shelter of your lotus feet, which is the source of all transcendental ecstasy. But those who take pride in their own accomplishments in yoga and karma fail to take shelter of you and are defeated by your illusory energy. My dear infallible Lord, it is not very astonishing that you intimately approach your servants who have taken exclusive shelter of you. What does Krishna say in your verse? Mam ekam. Same thing. Exclusive shelter. Mam ekam sharanam. Same thing. Exclusive shelter. After all, during your appearance as Lord Ramachandra, everybody say, even while great demigods like Brahma were vying to place the effulgent tips of their helmets upon the cushion where your lotus feet rested, you displayed special affection for monkeys such as Hanuman. Demigods, no. Hanuman, yes. Because they had taken exclusive shelter of you. All those monkeys were expansions of Devatas. That was not an ordinary monkey army headed by Hanuman. Who then could dare reject you, the very soul, the most dear object of worship and supreme Lord of all? You who give all possible perfections to devotees who take shelter of you? Who could be so ungrateful, knowing the benefits you bestow? Who would reject you and accept something for the sake of material enjoyment, which simply leads to forgetfulness of you? So this is the fault of acquiring more material opulence. The tendency is we forget Krishna and become more absorbed in Maya. That's the problem, which is why Krishna generally keeps his pure devotees, just gives them what they need, not what they want. What we want is up here. But if Krishna gave us what we want, we would forget Krishna. So Krishna's kind to you. He says, no, I know what's best for you. I'll give you what you need. You don't need 50 chapatis. I give you 6. You don't need 20 cars, 1 or 2. Krishna gives his devotee what they need. And what lack is there for us who are engaged in the service of the dust of your lotus feet? O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Lord Brahma. For you appear in 2 features, externally as the Acharya and internally as Super Soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing one how to come to you. So, this is an important point. your guru, your acharya, has to be somebody who represents Krishna in the heart. Therefore, the acharya has to speak the same thing Krishna speaks. Krishna speaks his will in what book? Bhagavad Gita. The acharya, the guru, represents Krishna's will. Therefore, he cannot contradict Krishna. He can't supersede Krishna or go around Krishna. He has to be a mouthpiece. That's what makes someone a guru. That is the only qualification of being a guru, that you repeat Krishna's message as it is. Not my message. Just like me, I have to present the message of my guru, Srila Prabhupada. That is my only qualification. As long as I repeat what Srila Prabhupada is teaching, then you're fine. Come and listen. If I don't repeat what Prabhupada is saying, don't listen to me. Therefore, read Prabhupada's books so that you know what is the guru supposed to be teaching. So in this chapter, I have divided it out into 6 sections. We just finished section 1. Everybody chant the Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Shukadeva Goswami then said, thus questioned by the most affectionate Uddhava, Lord Krishna, the supreme controller of all controllers, who takes the entire universe as his plaything and assumes the 3 forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, began to reply, lovingly displaying his all-attractive smile. So you'll notice, if you go to temples of Krishna, Krishna is always smiling. So that smile of Krishna is blessing you. If you get the smile of Krishna, that's blessing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, Uddhava, I shall describe to you the principles of devotion to me. Executing those, a mortal human being will conquer unconquerable death. Same thing is there in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 14, where Krishna says, Daivi Esha Gunamayi Momamaya Duratyaya, that this material energy is insurmountable. Insurmountable, Krishna says. But Mam evaye prapajante mayam etam tarantite. But if you surrender to me, you will easily cross over it. Taraha e bhava sindhu re. Same thing. Material existence is like an ocean with many waves. But if you have a nice boat, no problem. So, that boat and the winds and the sail, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are your 3 things. You need representative of Krishna, Guru. You need favorable breezes, the Vedic instructions, and the boat, human form of life. Self-realization is possible in the human form of life. Let us continue. Always remembering me, one should perform all one's duties for me without becoming impetuous. So impetuous means hasty, doing things without thinking them through, doing things without proper deliberation. That's called impetuous. With mind and intelligence offered to me, one should fix one's mind in attraction to my devotional service. Same message is there in Bhagavad Gita. More than once, same message. Krishna says in chapter 8, think of me and at the same time, fight. For us, what's our fight? Are we fighting the Kauravas? No, we're fighting Maya, ignorance, gross materialism, atheism. That's what we're fighting. So you have to be strong. Keep yourself strong. And at the same time, think of Krishna. So you have to do both things. Execute your prescribed duties as a husband, father, wife, mother. You have to do that. And at the same time, remember Krishna. One should take shelter of holy places where my saintly devotees reside. Meenakshi, what's the best holy place? Vrindavan. Some will say Mayapur. No argument. No argument. One should be guided by the exemplary activities of my devotees who appear among demigods, demons, and human beings. Yes, Narada is a devotee amongst the demigods. Who's a devotee among the demons? Prahlad, Bali. Even though they're demons, they're great devotees. And human beings, Srila Prabhupada ki. Either alone or in public gatherings with singing, dancing, and other exhibitions of royal opulence, one should arrange to celebrate those holy days, ceremonies, and festivals set aside especially for my worship, such as Janmashtami. What's coming up soon? Ram Navami, yes. Nrsimha Chaturdashi, Vamana Dwadasi, Rothayatra, month of Kartik. There are so many festivals throughout the year just to help you to remember Krishna nicely. With a pure heart, one should see me, the Supreme Soul, within all beings and within oneself, to be both unblemished by anything material and present everywhere, both externally and internally, just like the omnipresent sky. O brilliant Uddhava, one who thus views all living entities with the idea that I am present within each of them, and who by taking shelter of this divine knowledge offers due respect to everyone, is to be considered actually wise. So let us recognize Krishna in everyone's heart right now. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Remember, I've said it 1 billion times. During the Daksha Yajna, Lord Shiva, after the whole incident, Lord Shiva told his wife, at that time she was Sati. Lord Shiva told Sati, I don't offer respects to the person who's identifying with their body. I pay obeisances to Krishna in the heart of that person, not to the person. So therefore, we should have no reason not to give respect to everyone. Why? Because we're not paying respect to Donald Trump. We're paying obeisances to Krishna, who's somewhere, I don't know where, but he's there in Donald Trump. But you get the idea. We're not paying obeisances to the person. We're paying obeisances to Krishna in the heart of that person. I always love to remember that teaching of Lord Shiva because it makes things so simple and easy. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Krishna. Such a man equally sees the Brahmin, the outcast, the thief, and the charitable promoter of Brahminical culture. Same thing in 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmani Gavi Hastini, Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. He sees equally. Why? He sees Krishna in the heart. One who constantly meditates upon my presence within all persons, the bad tendencies of rivalry, envy, and abusiveness, along with false ego, are very quickly destroyed. This one simple thing does so much benefit for you. It's one simple thing. Trying to see and remember, Krishna is in their heart. So, ladies, when your husband becomes difficult, just remember, Krishna's in his heart. Men, when the wife is nagging, do this, do this, do this, do this, remember, Krishna is in the heart. Then you'll be happy. Disregarding the ridicule of one's companions, one should give up the bodily conception and its accompanying embarrassment. One should offer obeisances before all, even dogs, outcasts, cows, and asses, falling flat upon the ground like a rod. Until one has fully developed the ability to see me within all living beings, one must continue to worship me by this process with the activities of one's speech, mind, and body. And by such transcendental knowledge of the all-pervading personality of Godhead. So that name, all-pervading, Vasudeva, everybody. He's all-pervading. One is able to see the absolute truth everywhere. Freed from all doubts, one gives up fruitive activities. Indeed, I consider this process, using one's mind, words, and bodily functions for realizing me within all living beings, to be the best possible method of spiritual enlightenment. Nice thing Krishna is saying here. My dear Uddhava, because I have personally established it, this process of devotional service unto me is transcendental and free from any material motivation. Certainly, a devotee never suffers even the slightest loss by adopting this process. What does Krishna say in chapter 2 of Gita? Neha bhikrama shosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little advancement can save one from the greatest danger. Just a little advancement. O Uddhava, greatest of saints, in a dangerous situation, an ordinary person cries, becomes fearful, and laments. Although such useless emotions do not change the situation. I went through that on Gorpurnima Day in Santiago. I had so much pain. That's exactly what I was doing, crying. But my crying didn't make the pain go away. It was only when Krishna, after 16 hours, said, okay, I'll give you a break. But activities offered to me without personal motivation, even if they are externally useless, amount to the actual process of religion. The process is the supreme intelligence of the intelligent and the cleverness of the most clever. For by following it, one can, in this very life, make use of the temporary and unreal to achieve me the eternal reality. Everybody chant the Maha Mantra.